The Nile is the longest river in the world, more than 6,000 kilometers in length. On its journey through North Africa, it crosses 9 countries, flowing through spectacular changes of landscape. Along its length, it supports life for plants, animals, and millions of people. As it travels north, it becomes a wide, sweeping river, but it starts its journey small, in the mountains of Ethiopia and Uganda. North Africa doesn't have 4 distinct seasons like those of Europe. It has 2, wet and dry. Now it's the dry season. There's no rain and it's hot. The temperature can go up to 58 degrees centigrade. Along the length of the Nile, the water level is low. The high temperature causes a huge quantity of water to evaporate. In many places, the riverbed has dried out, leaving something more like a stream than a river. But a few months from now, this riverbed will be filled with water. The question is, where does it come from? It's the dry season here, in the Ethiopian highlands. This is where one branch of the Nile begins its journey. It hasn't rained for months. The earth is parched, and little is growing. But this is about to change. Above the mountains, clouds are appearing. Weather systems crossing North Africa bring these clouds of water vapor to the Ethiopian highlands. They're made of tiny droplets hanging in the air. When they come into contact with the mountains, the vapor turns back to water and it rains. The rainy season in these highlands can last for several months. The farmers depend on the rain. It's the only supply of water they have for their crops and animals. A good rainy season makes the Ethiopian highlands a rich and fertile place. The rain makes the crops grow, so there's food for the animals, and the farmers can produce enough to feed themselves and their families, plus perhaps a little more to sell. The problem for the farmers here is that the rains don't always come. When they don't, the dry season continues. There's a drought. Ethiopia suffers terrible droughts at times, so it's not surprising the arrival of the rains is a reason to celebrate in these highlands. The rains soak the hillsides here until the earth can't absorb any more water, so it collects on the surface and then begins to trickle away downhill. As these rivulets of water meet up, they become streams. The streams flow on downhill, joining up to become rivers. The rivers that flow out of the Ethiopian highlands carry something with them: fertile topsoil. At night, the highlands are very cold. The water on the surface of the ground freezes. As it turns into ice, it expands, breaking up the earth. When the sun comes up in the morning, the ice melts and the earth is left crumbly and fine. Everywhere on these hillsides, loose soil sits, just waiting for a passing flow of water to scoop it up. The rivers carry tons of rich, fertile soil out of the Ethiopian highlands. This is not good for farming. The water is stripping away the fertile land on the hillsides. The highland rivers and streams all flow into the same place, Lake Tana. The lake is a natural reservoir. It collects the water from the highlands. Many thousands of people live on its shores. They farm the land around it. They fish from it. Tons of fish every year. And as well as this, they guide visitors to the lake's magnificent sights. The rich variety of birds that live around Lake Tana make the lake popular with birdwatchers. As the rains continue, the water level in Lake Tana rises. In the dry season, just a trickle of water flows over these falls out of the lake. But the deep hollows carved in the rock show the water must have far more power at other times. After the rains, these falls show a very different face. These spectacular falls are a major tourist attraction in Ethiopia. The water drops 46 meters, straight down. The mist thrown from the cascading water soaks the countryside around. It gives the falls their name, Tis Isat, smoking fire.